Gunda's Games!
Hello ladies and gentlemen, Gendo Okeshi here with another League of Legends champion guide. Today we're discussing a fabulous gentleman. He's a tanky healer with an eye for fashion. This is of course Taric, the Gym Knight. He's truly outrageous. Truly outrageous. Quit polishing your rocks long enough to take notes. It's time to learn how to Taric. Taric is a fantastic gentleman on the fields of justice. He is usually a tanky support, but is both functional and stylish in the jungle and at the top lane. His focus is primarily on buffing his allies both offensively and defensively, and with a powerful crowd control spell, he's quite the dangerous man in lane and in teamfights. Taric's passive is Gymcraft, as is befitting of a Gym Knight, though what that has to do with the ability exactly, I'm not entirely sure. Quite simply, this makes his basic attacks deal bonus magic damage equal to 2% of his maximum mana. His damage is doubled versus champions. Gymcraft makes any harassment he can get in quite strong and helps him clear the jungle faster. It also helps him scale quite well into the late game, as we will see later. The Gym Knight's Q is Imbue. He is both a defender and a healer, so of course he has a healing skill. Imbue will heal a target allied champion or minion for a nice chunk and heal himself for the same amount. If he uses it on himself, he is healed for 40% more than he would otherwise. This means it is generally more efficient per cast to heal an ally and yourself, but will do nicely to heal yourself back in a pinch. Imbue has a fairly long cooldown, but it can be reduced. Hitting an enemy champion with a basic attack will reduce it by 3 seconds. Hitting a non-champion will reduce it by 1 second. Imbue is quite useful throughout the game and should generally be taken around level 3 and maxed out second. If, however, your opponents are dealing a lot of magic damage to you, you might max it out first. Why magic damage? Well, that's because Taric's W, Shatter, grants you armor, dealing with the other side. It has 2 passives and an active. First, it grants Taric a flat amount of bonus armor. Second, it creates an aura that grants an armor bonus to all nearby allies, equal to 12% of his total armor. And yes, that includes the first passive. When activated, he deals magic damage to all enemies around him, scaling with both ability power and armor, as well as reducing their armor by the amount of his flat armor bonus. While on cooldown, Taric loses this flat bonus, but his aura stays. As you can imagine, Shatter is extremely powerful throughout the game and is useful regardless of his position on the team. Generally, take your first point in this at level 2 and max it out first. Taric's E is Dazzle. With gems as shiny as his, stunning good looks isn't just a metaphor. He fires a bolt of energy at an enemy, stunning them for 1.5 seconds and dealing magic damage to them. The farther away they are, the less damage he deals. That's okay. The stun is what's important. Dazzle makes Taric an excellent initiator for your team and allows him to pretty much dominate most lane matchups. The damage gained from leveling up isn't generally worth it and is only really noticed if used up close and personal. As a support, take a point in it at level 1. In top lane or the jungle, probably at level 4. In any case, you'll want to max it out last. Finally, Taric's ultimate is Radiance. He slams the ground to deal magic damage to enemies around him and create yet another aura. For the next 10 seconds, he gains bonus attack damage and ability power while granting half that bonus to his nearby allies. Radiance is a powerful spell in team fights on a fairly short minute-long cooldown. Not only that, it gives minions and pets bonus attack damage too, albeit a significantly smaller amount. This makes it great for pushing lanes as well. Like most ultimates, for obvious reasons, you should take a point in it every chance you can. I play Taric as a support, so my runes and masteries generally reflect this. Runes are armor marks and seals, magic resistance per level glyphs, and gold per 10 quintessences. Often, if I don't feel the need for armor, I use gold per 10 seals as well. For jungling or top lane, I might recommend exchanging the reds and quints for attack speed and or movement speed. For masteries, I run 1, 13, 16 as a melee support, with the 1 in offense for the mastery, so that can move if you don't need it, 13 in defense to make him less squishy when he has to run into fights, and several support points for more gold and utility. In other positions, you might consider 9, 21, 0 for true tankiness and some more attack speed. Summoner spells are quite varied. As with most champions, I recommend Flash to start, to help bridge the gap for an initiation or a quick retreat if necessary. Exhaust is an excellent option to hold your enemies down while you wait for Dazzle to come back off cooldown. Clairvoyance and Heal are both great spells as a support for map vision and keeping your carries alive respectively. And of course, if you're jungling, you want to take Smite. Taric has many different options for items, but I tend to always start my game the same. 1 Fairy Charm, a Vision Ward, 2 Sight Wards, and 2 Health Potions. This will keep you sustained through the early game while you build up your defenses as well as grant you some vision. We'll discuss the application of those wards in a little bit. Regardless, you'll want to turn that Fairy Charm into a Philosopher's Stone and start working towards Sight Stones as soon as possible. In fact, if you can just buy a Sight or Ruby Sight Stone the first time you go back, go ahead and do that instead of the Philo Stone. They serve essentially the same purpose, and the Sight Stone grants more immediate benefits. The Gem Knight has many different options for boots as well. Boots of Mobility are great for allowing you to get where you need to be faster, especially for ganking with dazzling stun of his. Ninja Tabi make him tankier and work well with Shatter. Boots of Lucidity let you do everything else more often, of course. And Mercury Treads give you Tenacity, which is good on everything. Next, we're going to one item that Taric scales well with. Personally, I prefer Iceborne Gauntlets. They provide mana for more damage from Gemcraft, armor for Shatter, AP for everything, cooldown reduction because yes please, and a unique passive that will make you one heck of a wrecking machine, allowing you to lock down your targets even more once you've stunned them. Other related options are Frozen Heart and Randuin's Omen. You could even take more than one of these options if you'd like, just think about what's most appropriate against your opponents. An aura item or two would not be remiss on the King of Auras here. Locket of the Iron Solari is extremely efficient, and a shield on your allies on top of your other auras is crazy powerful. Similarly, Runic Bulwark will keep everyone alive and well. If someone on your team has that already though, but you really want an Emblem of Valor item, go for Banner of Command. Taric is great at pushing lanes already, and this makes it even crazier. At some point, you'll want to upgrade your Philosopher's Stone. Consider Shirelia's Reverie if your team needs a quick boost moving about. You might also consider Ohm Wrecker early in the game, especially if you're ganking a lot. Speaking of ganks, let's talk about the jungle for the moment. As a jungler, you would of course start with a Hunter's Machete and 5 health potions. That machete is the only thing really out of place in your build, but we can still make use of it. Spirit of the Ancient Golem is a great defensive item for Taric, giving health, armor, and tenacity. Regal's Lantern, on the other hand, is a nice offensive option for free wards. Taric's jungle killing can be a little slow, so this would help it out considerably. Lastly are a few other items you might consider but aren't really needed usually. Mikhail's Crucible grants you all the mana you'll ever need and gives a supporting Taric another heal and a cleanse for an ally. Spirit Visage is great if you need a bunch of health and magic resistance, and its passive stacks on yourself with Imbue. Zhonya's Hourglass, or more specifically the item that builds into it, Seeker's Arm Guard, is extremely efficient if you want a slightly more AP focused build while still building a ton of armor. Finally, Manamune is a lot of fun with Taric's Gemcraft. With Manamune on, his mana essentially gives him extra damage twice. A few things for you to remember as Taric. First, it's not always right to use Shatter as soon as you can. You lose your armor bonus while it's on cooldown, so if you're getting focused, it will just make you easier to kill. Never forget its armor reducing aspect as well. If you can wade into the enemy team and cast Shatter, your AD allies can just wreck them all from behind. Additionally, if you're walking in to drop all your spells, try and cast Radiance before Shatter so that you have extra AP and thus more damage when you do. And though Radiance's cooldown is quite short, be careful of not using it too early. Some enemies may look to bait you into using it before simply walking away to wait out the duration of the buff. Despite all the aggressive power Taric has though, he doesn't do all that much damage on his own in most cases. Stay with your team whenever possible to make them all the more powerful. In a lane, remember you don't always have to cast Dazzle at every opportunity. The mere threat of you using it will often be enough to scare off your opponents. Getting them to go hide under their tower rather than farm is often just as good as or better than actually killing them. This is where that vision ward from earlier comes in. Often this threat of dazzling them involves hiding in the farthest bush to catch them unawares. Smarter players will try to ward this to keep you from doing so, but with a vision ward you can counter it. Taric synergizes well with many champions throughout the game. In the laning phase as a support, he works quite well with any aggressive carry, someone who can capitalize on his stun. The classic example of a great combo is Caitlyn. If Taric lands a dazzle, Caitlyn can drop a trap at their feet to lock them down long enough for the pair to smash them into little chunks. In the late game, he combines well with other champions with auras to boost the overall beefiness of your team. The prime example currently, especially in high-level play, is Jarvan. Their combined armor auras make your team extremely difficult to punch through, even with all the armor shredding available through items nowadays. Taric is a functional and stylish tanky bruiser, powerful throughout the game. Keep your allies beefy and strong, and stun for them when necessary, and you will lead them to victory. With that, thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed this guide, please let me know by hitting the like button. Speak up in the comments below if you have advice or questions or some shiny jewels to leave me. We're all here to learn, except for me, because I just want your diamonds. Subscribe for future content, including champion guides, gameplay guides, and other possibly not LOL content. Till next time, I've been Gin, and you've been watching me talk about a video game.